The Canon 28-300L IS f3.5 to 5.6 is one of the most underrated Canon L series lenses available, and in my opinion it doesn't get the attention it deserves. In fact, many photographers slate the Canon 28-300L IS lens and openly comment it is a lens that has poor image quality, it's overpriced and has no specific purpose. This lens has more critics than fans. However, I have to say I am a fan and I feel I need to quickly outline the pros and cons of this lens. Firstly, let's look at the pros of the Canon 28-300L IS f3.5 to 5.6 lens. Number 1. The zoom range is huge. With a 28mm to 300mm zoom, effective 45mm to 480mm on a crop sensor Canon camera, there are plenty of focal lengths available, which makes it suitable for taking a wide variety of shots. This is a versatile lens you can use to take photos of landscapes, seascapes, people, buildings, wildlife, including insects, birds and mammals, products and much more. It is not possible to capture macro shots with this lens, but standing close to a subject and increasing the focal length to zoom in nice and tight will enable you to capture some awesome close-up shots. Number 2. The build quality is second to none. Canon L series lenses are well known for their build quality, and this lens is no different. This lens is made from the best quality materials, it is strong, it is robust and also weather sealed, which means you can use it in damp, humid, dry, salty and dusty environments without having to worry about any nasties getting to the sensor. The image quality is awesome. All things considered, i.e. the variable maximum aperture and the large range of focal lengths, the image quality of this lens is awesome. Okay, there are other lenses out there with better image quality, but these are not as versatile as this lens. I've never had any clients come back to me about the image quality of photos taken with this lens, and I don't expect it in the future either. Unless the clients go pixel peeping, of course. In the real world, it is difficult, if not impossible, to tell the difference in image quality between this lens and lenses considered superior to this one. Number 4. It has image stabilization technology. Image stabilization is great, and it is a feature I look for in all lenses. Image stabilization allows you to take sharp handheld shots that would be impossible without it. I have read claims that the image stabilization is 4 stops for this lens. However, I don't think this is quite true. This lens is more than capable of going 2 stops slower, although you may be able to push it to 3 stops slower if you have a steady hand. Now for the bad bit. The cons of the Canon 28-300L IS f3.5 to 5.6 lens. Number 1. It is big and heavy. Compared to other lenses, this is a beast of a lens and it is very big and heavy. Let's put this into perspective though. It is still small enough to fit into a sling bag and light enough to carry around all day without making your arms too tired. Number 2. It can cause unwanted attention. Because of its size and the fact it's bright white, this lens is not at all discreet and can be considered a look at me lens. I find everyone notices this lens, and I do sometimes get unwanted attention using it, but then having a fully gripped Canon 6D doesn't help matters either. Number 3. It has a variable maximum aperture. The widest maximum aperture varies on the focal length used, which can make exposing the photograph a little trickier since you'll have to tweak the settings as the aperture changes. This is not too much of an issue, just something you need to consider when using this lens. Number 4. It's not particularly fast. With a maximum aperture of f3.5 to f5.6, obviously depending on the focal length, this lens isn't particularly fast. If you like to shoot wide open for a shallow depth of field, you are going to have to adapt your style to account for this and seek alternative ways to get the shots you want. If your style is to maximise the depth of field, you won't find this a weakness, as you'll be shooting at narrower apertures anyway. Thinking about it, is the fact that this lens isn't as fast a weakness? I guess the answer to this will vary from person to person. Number 5. It is expensive. There's no getting over the fact that this is an expensive lens, and this cost puts off many potential buyers. Okay, this is an expensive lens, but look at the range of focal lengths you get for your money. Now try and replicate the same range of focal length using a combination of other lenses, and you'll appreciate the price of this lens actually isn't that bad after all. Now consider the build quality, the image stabilization technology, and the image quality, and you'll appreciate you do get a lot of lens for the money, and it gives a lot of bang for the buck. So the big question has to be, is the Canon 28-300 IS lens for you? Only you can answer that one, but before you make the final decision, I would suggest you go to your local camera store and see one of the lenses in the flesh, take a few test shots and see for yourself. That said, I highly recommend the Canon 28-300L IS lens, and now I own one, I wouldn't be without mine. If you've reached this far in this clip, thanks for taking out the time to do so, and please feel free to like, share or comment as you see fit.